Brandon, you ever figure out what that movie is with the flower?
No, I never will. I don't want to know.
And you never will. Welcome to the first time movie watches. Episode number 22. I'm JPO, Jordan Pearsones. Joined here by you know him, you love him, or you don't. I don't know how you feel. It's Brandon Cohen. How are you?
The Lights Out movie champion. Lights Out trivia.
Say it loud. Say it proud.
Lights
Baby.
Out trivia champion. Now you've had a week to watch it. I was champion last week, but I didn't want to say anything. Tune in on Tuesday to see if I stay champion. I am so glad to be here.
Yeah, congrats,
Jordan and I were talking about before this how I was on another show and I have first time watches on Tuesday or Monday. That was 9 hours long, and you might have seen it. And one person for their number 7 put The Human Condition 2, which is a movie that is Japanese and 178 minutes long, part 2 of 3. And my number 7 was Die Hard. 3. So yeah, very on par. So very glad.
Well, there you go. My first movie of the week is The Human Condition Part 4, which is the prequel.
It's just insane. Just like I am a cinephile when I want to be, but Jackie Chan box set, you know what I'm saying? So I am so glad to be here where my Jackie Chan box set is appreciated. I still kept it a little weird. I still keep it foreign sometimes, but I'm not artsy. We're not artsy. We watch shit from, Reese Darby from the future. So I'm glad to be here. And if you're glad to be here, come on and talk to us. We don't want to hear this freaking Human Condition part 1 or 2 or 3. We're just going to kick you off. We also don't want to hear anything
from the
ruling from 2024. It is cut. We are talking 1 year buffer from now on. So all the 2023 movies we did last year are technically against the rules this year. So we don't want to hear it. Old movies only 2023 till 19.
There you go.
That's
what I was about to say when you said it. So yes, that is the buffer here. We're not a new release. I don't want to know about Love Hurts or what else is out. Hard Eyes. I want to see it. I don't want to hear about it on this show. It's only 2023 and before. If you want to join us here, it's down below. I know you can't copy and paste that, but again, copy and paste it because it's in the chat ski right there. Literally come and join us here.
You talk about Fantastic Four because that means you're from the future and that'd be pretty cool. But other than that,
please. Or Fantastic. It's the first time you've ever seen that. Let us know. What did you see this week, Brandon?
I watched a little. What do I want to start with? I watched a little flick. I'll start with this called Blowout from 1981, starring our boy. I don't know if he's our boy. He might be my boy or your boy. It was starring John Travolta, directed by Brian De Palma. I didn't enjoy it. I love Cody. I love those guys, but that's not the show or too long. But I love it. I pretended like Tusk was my number 1 movie. It was a great bit. Blowout. I got a little artsy Brian De Palma flick about John Travolta, who is a sound engineer on B horror movies. And great intro, by the way, watching a B horror movie and if you've seen this hilarious reveal of a girl who can't scream and they haven't replaced it yet. So great little bit in the beginning. But he's a guy who needs to capture new sounds. So he goes out on a bridge with his telescopic microphone and he captures some sounds of the wind, some sounds of some people walking, things like that. And then he notices he hears a bang, he hears a tire pop, and then he sees a car drive into the water. When he jumps in, he saves a girl, and he realizes that the guy driving the car who passed away was actually the front runner to become the next president of the United States. So there's some crazy shit going on. There's some crazy shenanigans going on. Some people trying to cover things up ensue. And this is just a great, great thriller. Good performance by John Travolta. Amazing job by Brian De Palma here, doing some amazing camera work, especially in 1981. You get these split shots of him listening to it, and he's kind of picturing what's happening, and he can see it through the sound and the way they have him kind of green screened in, and you can see the thing building behind him. Does some amazing, amazing things back in 1981. So really, really great flick. Really good performances by most of the people. John Lithgow comes in and gives a crazy performance in this. John Travolta is solid in this. Lead actress, a little over the top at points, kind of pulled me back here from giving that, that 5, that 4.5. People love the movie. I'm on par with them. Maybe not love it as much as everybody else, but still thought it was fantastic.
You're zoning out a little bit.
Oh, I give this a 4 out of 5. Don't love it as much as some people on my Letterboxd do. I was really tired and kind of took a break in the middle for a little nap, so maybe that pulled me out of the thriller a little bit. But yeah, that lead actress is kind of ruins it for me. But again, in 1981, some amazing cinematography, some amazing.
All right, well, this guest of the week, Nancy Allen. It's kind of awkward bringing her on now.
Look, she was good for most of it, and there was some of it that was just a little too over the top for me. So,
yeah, and I haven't seen it, but I'm very interested. I know Tarantino's a fan, and I actually just saw John Lithgow was just talking about this because he was in the Criterion closet, and he's like, "Oh, I'm in this, and I'm going to take this." That's my John Lithgow impression. Tato, you ever seen Blowout?
I have not.
Pez, ever seen Blowout?
Speaking of Criterion, you mean this Criterion? Yeah, I have that one.
Yeah.
Blowout. Yeah, no, I've seen it. Yeah, this is a solid movie. De Palma can be hit or miss for me, but this is a good one, and this is a good kind of paranoia, thriller. I like the fact that he's a horror movie editor for like shitty horror movies. That's a fun aspect. In the first like 30 minutes, just editing these terrible Scream Queen like horror movies. But it's a good performance. I like Travolta a lot.
Super dark ending, but they have a little ending reveal that relates to kind of the beginning of the movie. Super dark little twist.
Too much. I want to see it.
Not like a major part.
I think it's very apropos that us four are on screen right now because we're about to get sexy, y'all. Because for the first time, I watched 50 Shades of Grey. I'm a firm believer. There is a lot of nudity, so it didn't keep me awake. Go to Johnson is naked.
Which trailer are you showing us?
I don't know. Whatever was the first thing on YouTube. I hope it's not the Red Band. I'm a firm believer in giving movies a chance here. I've never was that interested in this. But it was on, I think, the Cock, the PA. That'd be funny if it was on Peacock. I think it was the Cock. And so I decided to give it a chance. And just like Twilight, it's not good. The writing's not very good. The ending also really kind of sucks that it's basically a non-ending as well here. It became kind of repetitive here. I don't think Dornan's bad, but at the same time, it's a very one-note performance here. So, yeah, this movie did not enthrall me. It had me interested for a moment here because there is a bit of intrigue as to what is this dude kind of going through here. And then they're going to explore that more. I saw the first 5 minutes of the sequel, too, and I'm like, oh, okay, he was abused, whatever. So they're going to fill in those holes later on. Fill in the holes. And these shades are great. So, yeah, I don't know if I like this more or less than Twilight. Probably right on par. I don't hate it. 2 stars, but it's definitely not a recommendation. So let's get sexy with 50 Shades of Grey. Ever seen this, Brandon?
I have not. I've asked my wife if these are good. She's like, they're great, but they're not. But like in the same way that Twilight's great, how they're not great. So yeah, maybe one day.
Yeah, that's not true though. See, like I can't even love this in a bad way. Like they're both kind of boring and badly written, and I think badly acted to a degree. I think Johnson's good, but I don't get how people can love these. Tato, ever got sexy with 50 Shades?
Nah, better or worse than Madam Web?
Better? It's a little more coherent. So
okay. That's kind of my mother while she was researching.
It's just repetitive. And, Pez, ever gotten sexy?
I may or may not own this trilogy, but because they're ridiculous. Because JPO, I love my awesome bad movies, and these movies are awesomely bad. Like they're horribly written. But to be fair, JPO, that comes from the books. The books are very poorly written themselves.
That's what I've
heard. They
rip
a lot of the bad dialogue. It comes right from the books, and like it's just as bad. The scenes, the BDSM scenes in the book are just as ridiculous as the ones in the movie. It's not sexy. It's a weird thing, but I can enjoy like the bad performances and the bad dialogue, on that scale. And so, yeah, I can have fun with them that. But I have more fun with stuff like Madam Web though, because it's more ridiculous.
Oh, true. Better movie. Yeah. This. What am I rewatching first? Well, first gun to head after rewatch. But then if I am, probably popping Madam Web.
I'm popping Madam Web tomorrow because I have to do a drinking game to it on Saturday.
Hey, reasons for sobriety. That'll keep me sober, Pez. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh god, the sexy movie reviewers. Jonathan Carr's in the house. Hey, ever seen 50 Shades of Grey?
Yes, and no comment on that other question if I've been sexy or not. So.
Hey, I want to talk about it real quick. Bad, good, bad.
Not good. It's the
Bad.
best of the three, but not
Is
saying
it?
much.
That scares me.
That's
I'll
not
probably
saying
watch
much.
the other ones. I need a buffer though. I'm not doing the next one next week. I need a buffer.
Yeah.
Before
I'd rather listen to the soundtrack than rewatching all those three movies.
So crazy in love. Yeah, that Beyonce song.
You'll get lucky. You'll get lucky for sure.
The weekend.
Beto, what'd you see this week?
So I was saying I was gonna try to go a little more old school, but I did dust off a 2023 one for my first one here. I tend to watch a lot of American movies. I decided to expand my horizons. I watched a piece of French cinema, and I also wanted to play the card of, hey, no one else here has ever seen this movie, probably. Asterix et Obelix, Le Empire du Milieu, aka Asterix and Obelix, the Middle Kingdom.
What the? Because any of those work? Not in French or English.
I've seen so many movies. I've never heard of that.
That's right. I came to break.
What?
Close
Now
enough.
find it on YouTube.
It's on Netflix. These are comic characters by Belgian artists from way back in the day.
It's not a cartoon.
No. This is a live action movie, sir.
I was expecting cartoons, not this. Hold on. No, continue though.
Sorry. Anyway, a delightful, pretty funny movie if you are a fan of the books. If you're not, if you don't know these characters, there is nothing to this movie probably. You do have Marion Cotillard playing two roles, one of them being Cleopatra. Very, very comic accurate, I will say, in terms of like looking comic accurate and the story and the writing. The jokes are all very similar to the jokes in the comic book here. You have Princess Sassy and her bodyguard Karate. It's pretty bad. And then right in the middle of it, for my football fans, Zlatan shows up.
Hell yeah.
So just out of nowhere.
I love Zlatan.
And initially I thought it was the cat who played the Zlatan character in Ted Lasso. So I go to look it up. I'm like, no, it's literally just fucking Zlatan. Anyway, 3.5 stars here. Really funny. Kind of dry French humor if you're into that sort of thing. A lot of like anachronistic puns and kind of like Knight's Tale. Like they'll do a needle drop in movie that is way time inappropriate and stuff like that. And Cleopatra finds these Louis Vuitton shoes and shit. And yeah, stupid name puns. But it's a book series that I've had since I was a kid, so the characters mean a lot to me, and it was really funny to see them done on screen. There's a couple more of them, as I understand it. I'm gonna have to find them and check them out, maybe. And then there are animated ones. There is an animated project coming up on Netflix this year that I've been anticipating.
I thought for some reason I thought it was animated. Anyone want to chime in on this? Anyone seen this?
That trailer looked like a comic. Like it did look like a comic book. So if this is like a comic book series, it does look like a comic book. But it also at points looked like Meet the Spartans.
Yeah, it's got like there are like Archer level beats of humor because they will do like really deep historical and literary type jokes that fly over the head over the average audience of Archer, which is why I think Archer is such a fantastic show at times. Or it's part of what makes Archer a fantastic show, I should say.
Faces on there.
Yeah, mainly Marion Cotillard and Zlatan if you're a football cat.
The main character looked familiar.
There's other people that are more known than Zlatan. Was it that Vincent Cassel?
That Vincent Cassel.
That's Cassel. Yeah. Vincent Cassel.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know actors.
Tate over here. Yeah, exactly. fucking
Ocean's
full
12.
fall, isn't it? Who gives a fuck?
Ocean's 12, Black
Sorry.
Swan.
Pez, what'd you see this week?
So I'll just drop one old one before I get to Wheel of Movies. So I'll be the asshole that talks about the really old movie for the week, as I've wanted to be on this show. So I'll talk about 1957's The Tall T. It's a Western. The Tall T. It's a Randolph Scott Western. So, yeah. Just the tall T, the letter T, the tall T from.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I was asking, was it like a drink or a
rapper?
No, just the tall T, the letter T. Yes, 1957. So this is a Randolph Scott Western. He was kind of like the B-level John Wayne of his time. He did like a million Westerns. He was never as popular as John Wayne, but he was a steady guy who cranked them out. The one thing I liked about this is not your typical what I like to call G Golly Randolph Scott Western, which he did a lot of like G Golly movies, where they're very safe, Westerns where he gets into bar fights or, just very safe shootouts and things like that. This is one of his darker movies, and it's a really cool thing where it starts out as kind of a G Golly thing where he's this down on his luck guy who wants to start a ranch. He loses his horse in a bet, but he ends up, kind of hitching a ride, back to this stagecoach station that he's very familiar with. But he encounters these three gunmen. Richard Boone is the main guy named Usher, and he's created sort of a hostage situation that becomes a ransom situation because one of the girls on the stagecoach that he hitched a ride with, her father owns like a bunch of copper mines, so she's like an heiress to a copper mine, and figures out that he could maybe get some ransom out of this. $50,000. That's a lot of money back in the day that he tries to get. But these guys are pretty sinister, man. He runs these two young bucks with him that have no problem just shooting people, including children. Like they have no problem just whacking anybody they need to whack to get them out of the way. And it becomes, this very tense situation where he's got to try to figure out how to get out of here. Him and the girl surviving. He's got to play some psychological mind games to maybe get them turned against each other, and eventually try to, just get out of the situation with violence if he needs to, even though he doesn't want to. Some really dark themes here with some the character decisions where the movie actually goes, and it actually really, really works. And I'll tell you another positive about this movie: 78 minutes, man. This is not a long, drawn out Western. We get right to the point, man. 78 minutes, man. You are in and out. It gets once the 20 minutes of like setting up the characters and the few locations is out of the way, we get right into it. And it's pretty tense all the way to the finale. So this is a really good one. I don't usually love these like 50s Westerns. I'm more of a spaghetti Western, Clint Eastwood, Lee Van Cleef, Franco Nero kind of guy. But this is one of the good ones, man. One of the good older ones. And if you really want to see like a good, tense, again, darker themed Western from back then, check this one out. So yeah, no, both Brandons, you can both check it out.
I'm coming to Brandon's sandwich.
Oh, mine's it's a black box for me over there.
Yeah. So anyways, you can find this one on Tubi if you want. Good old Tubi. It's on there. It has a bevy of old Westerns. So the Tall T is great. 4.5 out of 5, man. I enjoyed this one. I will be going back to it again in the future. So if you want to see a good old Western that moves, doesn't waste your time, and actually has great performances and some decent tension, check out The Tall T from 1957. So that'll do it for me.
Pez loves his short ass movies.
My short ass movies, man. Like, you could watch The Searchers, which is like 2 hours and 20 minutes or whatever. No thanks. Give me a good 78-minute Western, and I'm in. Hell yeah.
I'll tell you what, Pez. You're probably going to outlive me, but if I do outlive you at your funeral, I'll make sure we wrap this shit up in about 60, 70 minutes.
Dude, make it quick. Look, everybody can make their speeches, but like speed round, 30 seconds or less. You know the drill.
Guys,
you know what I'm saying? Just quick thoughts. Let's get out of here. So, but yeah, I'll just check in with that for tonight because I got a wheel of movies to get to. But thanks for letting me check in. Appreciate it. So yeah.
Absolutely, Bez.
All right,
buddy, we got to head out. We all love Tubi.
Right.
I know John Garrow loves Tubi. John, what'd you watch this week?
Yeah, I love Tubi. Yeah, I think it may be the second best streaming device or app behind Max, in my opinion. But yeah. So this is the week of romance, the week of love. Yeah. So, let's. You know what? I'm gonna review a couple of Robert Redford movies tonight, and we'll start off with Up Close and Personal, the 1996 romance starring Redford and Michelle Pfeiffer. So, basically Robert Redford plays a station manager in Miami who sees an aspiring news anchor named Tally, played by Pfeiffer, and he wants to take a chance on her because she lacks experience in her field. She makes a demo tape, but he sees her charisma, and she just, he sees something in her. And then, actually sooner than later, they develop this mutual attraction in both of their fields. Yep, that's the one. So, yeah, that's it. So I like these types of movies, these television movies, journalism movies. Yeah, it doesn't come close to like network or broadcast news. I think this one it's a fine journalism film, a fine journalism drama. I think that's the best part, by the way, the scene where she's being held hostage in jail because she's reporting, and there's some tension in there. But again, the bottom line is it's a romance, and the romance does not quite work. Didn't see much chemistry between Redford and Pfeiffer, and that's where it dragged down for me. I felt like it just had to happen because it's on paper. You want to give the people what they want. But if they were to subject to just the mentor-mentee relationship, I think the movie could have been stronger. And my last criticism is that it has like 4 endings. 4 endings. Like you could end one scene. Okay, we're gonna keep going. You're gonna end on that scene. Oh shoot! All right, we'll keep going again. That scene. Oh, okay, more time. Okay. The last ending. Oh, okay. And the last ending is the gutsier conclusion. So it's a mixed bag. I think it's just a fine movie. So kudos to the television journalism reporting stuff. Nah, to the romance. So I'm gonna give it 2.5 out of 5.
This is not on a streamer currently, is it? Isn't it?
No, it's not.
No, I thought I saw this the other day. Maybe I was just looking at Rough Redford movies. Brandon, never seen. I personally have not. Up close personal.
I've not, but I've been up close and personal with many people in my life.
Hey, and that's why you got a lot of streaming orders. Tato.
I have not.
Yeah, no blind spots there. Mainly reviews, some good stuff in there, but it sounds like not totally the greatest. Brandon, what else you got to do this week?
I watched a good movie. I watched trying to finish off my giblets in Ghibli. So I watched 2013's The Wind Rises. Hayao Miyazaki's final movie that wasn't his final movie. That should have been actually, I don't know if it should have been his final movie, but a great movie that proves that animation is just not a genre, it is a medium, because this is, unlike most animated movies you've seen, this is a love story. This is basically Oppenheimer about planes, but animated. It's it's about a guy who can't. A guy in, I think it takes place in pre-World War II, and he wants to be a pilot, but he has glasses, so he cannot be a pilot. So then he dedicates his life to being an aeronautical engineer, and he dedicates his life to just working on these planes, which he sees as just beautiful tools that fly through the air. It has all the whimsy, all the fantasy of the normal Miyazaki films, but it also has some of the darkness also. He goes over to Germany and sees their iron planes and sees, how their planes are and how they're just all about power. And he wants his to fly through the air, being nimble and quick. He has some visions or dreams with a Italian engineer played by Stanley Tucci, where, just dealing with that. Just these planes are just works of art rather than tools of destruction. And it deals with him kind of dealing with that. Because we know how World War II goes and with planes and everything, so he has to deal with that. I wish we got a little bit more into that side of things, like him kind of dealing with the aftermath, Oppenheimer-ish. But you still have that in the background. Where the story goes, and the character doesn't, obviously, because he's making these planes, doesn't really know how they're going to be used, kind of has a sense of it. But yeah, you get this, just this very interesting story that I've never seen The Aviator, but I've seen this, I've seen Oppenheimer, I've seen stories like this about people who dedicate their lives to things that, can be used as weapons. And it's just brilliant. It's really brilliantly done. Crazy cast. I don't have it. I don't have the English cast in front of me, but Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Emily Blunt, off the top of my head, Martin Short, John Krasinski. It goes on and on and on. There's more people in this. Again, these Ghibli films just stack the American cast, and they're just insane.
I love Randall Park.
Yeah, I don't usually watch I don't usually watch dubs when it comes to my animes, but when it comes to Ghibli films, they get the top-notch talent. So it's definitely worth watching it dubbed because they just stack them. So yeah, 4.5 stars. Brilliant movie that, again, is not like calling it a cartoon, calling it an anime is doing it injustice. This is a film. I'm not a film guy, but this is a film.
My only argument would be cartoons and anime can be filmed. You know, it shouldn't be a dirty word to say cartoon. You know.
I know, but this is like
but I've also never seen it. I'm very Ghibli blind. Tato, I feel like you've seen this. Tato? No? Jonathan, you've seen this? Oh, Tato. You're back.
Yeah, I think my internet did a blork on the moment. No. Sometimes you dub it, sometimes you sub it. It is a fair discussion to be had, given the series or film. I'm actually a blank on this one, though I will be I am catching up on Ghibli myself here, so I will let you all know when I get to it.
The Wind Rises.
I have 5 out of 5 on my end. I think it's excellent. I think it's one of my favorite Ghibli movies.
Brian, you're an anime guy, animation guy.
Yes.
First of all, hello. Second of all, have you seen this?
I have not. Ghibli. I have some good blind spots for Ghibli films.
Yeah, we know because we got one wrong in our. Sorry.
Exactly, Brandon.
But don't worry, guys, because we're going to continue talking about some of the greatest animated movies of all time. Because I bring you one of the greatest of all time.
Give us something.
I bring you Minions: Rise of Gru. I watched for the first time. Wait, Jonathan, you clap for Wind Rises, not for Minions? Come on, clap.
No.
I clap for the Minions.
No.
Same here.
So after the first one, I obviously wasn't interested in the second one because I really disliked that first one here. It's the epitome of what should be side characters who make, stupid noises and make you laugh every once in a while should be side characters here. And I think that's one of the reasons why this movie actually works a lot better than the first movie here, because they are almost getting back to, sharing the screen with Gru, who's now a kid. He introduced him in the cameo in the last one here. There's other, wacky villains as well that he first tries to team up with and backstab, but maybe he's not the worst guy because now they turn him good. So I didn't mind this one. It's very much in the same vein as like a Kung Fu Panda 4 or a Despicable Me 4 or, just like it will get the job done. I think if you have any, nieces, nephews, daughters, sons, I think you'll definitely pass the afternoon, if not night by. But it's not one you're going to go back to very often here, unless they are absolutely obsessed with these damn little minions here. So better than I thought it would be, but still not great because that's still only 2.5 stars. I thought it worked just enough to where I was actually contemplating it for a little while here, but it's not unique enough or funny enough to get over the thumbs up mark. Brendan, you ever seen The Rise of Gru?
No, we talked about this last week, and I'll repeat my crazy sentiment that makes no sense at all. How I love the Minions so much, but I've only seen the first Despicable Me. Just because I don't want to sit through. I feel like I love the Minions, so I don't want to put myself through this and potentially hate the Minions. I've seen all the best of clips, and they make me laugh, but I don't know if I want to sit down for an hour and a half. So I'll just keep my weird little world that I'm living in right now of just seeing some of the goofy highlights and, don't put myself through this to eventually hate them. So I have not seen this.
Jonathan, ever seen the second Minions movie?
No.
No, I didn't even get to it. And then, Brian, you love animation. Screw Ghibli. Yes. You saw this, right, Brian?
I did, actually.
What do you think?
Of course he did.
Better than the first movie. Good improvement, has a few laughs, and also a great voice cast for the villains they use. You want me ready? I'll give it a 3.
All right, so yeah, we're not too far different from that one here.
Yeah.
Jonathan, what else did you see this week?
Okay, so my second and last one for tonight is another Robert Redford movie, and we're going to talk about The Way We Were. Yeah, I think the song will be familiar. Memories on the corner of my mind. So it's the 1973 movie starring Redford and Barbra Streisand. Yeah, so I've been meaning to get to it for a while now, and finally watching this. Not as romantic as I thought. It's seemingly romantic on the surface, but it's an anti-romance movie. So basically, we have these two opposite individuals that they like each other, yes, because of their looks and their personality since college. But one is like an outspoken political person played by Streisand, and the other one is just a varsity jock, played by Redford. And
punk.
Yeah, punk. Yeah. So they do, and then years later they come up. They meet again after World War II, and they have this mutual attraction again. But unfortunately, their political views, their opposite political views, drift them apart a little bit. Even though the romance is still there, really the stakes are like, will this relationship last beyond the time right there? So yeah, that's James Woods, by the way, I think in his debut. So like I said before, it's seemingly like a romantic movie, like a corny romantic movie on the surface, but they fight a lot. They bicker a lot more than you think. And the song really just captures the somberness between both of these characters as years, drift, or the years progress as they get older and more mature. But they have different political views, like World War II, McCarthyism, and whatnot. But in the end, I'm not going to spoil. Yeah, it's like you don't know if they're going to end up together or not. So, not the best Valentine's movie, but it is a solid movie. It's a 70s movie. It's a 70s movie. So, according to Austin, he likes to say this phrase, it doesn't give a shit about your feelings, to be honest. It's a 70s romance movie, and yeah, that's it. So, good movie. So, 3.5 out of 5. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, if it isn't Meet the Fockers or The Guilt Trip, I haven't seen it if Babs is involved. Brandon, you ever see this?
That's exactly what I was going to say. The only Barbra Streisand, contrary to belief, I've only seen the two.
Same here. I agree. I haven't seen this one, but I've seen Meet the Fockers and The Guilt Trip as well. So
yeah, we're people of class.
Yeah.
Taylor, what's your Babs filmography?
Unmuted.
I actually really enjoy Yentl.
Yeah. I've never seen Yentl.
No, I mean,
I've never seen Yentl, actually.
I might get to it. Like, this is a film that I'm only very preferably aware of.
Yeah, but that'll do it for me, though. So I'm going to hop off. Thanks for letting me on tonight. And,
absolutely, man. You have a good night, buddy.
See you, Jonathan.
Yeah. Yep.
Brian Newsbaum, what have you seen this week?
I have 2 for you this week. I'll start with my first one. It's a movie mentioned here a lot the first time, actually. The Catcher Was a Spy.
Why did you watch this?
It was on Netflix and TV soon, so let's check that out. And yeah, it's not a good movie. It's very boring. It has a good cast, but not used that well in the film. I wanted more upon was baseball aspect, but nope. It's just the baseball all the way to the spy part. It's a bit boring. It's not a movie I would go back to. It's a big letdown because of big Paul well said. And my rating for it, 2 stars.
Hey, I believe higher than Brandon. Brandon, what did you give this?
I don't know, probably 1.5. I think it was on my bottom 5. Also, I gave this. It was just I gave it 2, but I think it was one of those ones where I talked about it, and halfway through my review, I actually hated it so much during my review that I knocked it down. When you said you learned this movie on Long Time First Time, I was hoping you'd pick one of the movies we recommend and stay away from the ones we don't recommend. But you decided to punish yourself, and I warned you about this stupid ass movie and how boring it is.
I want to see how bad it was, Brandon. So.
And you didn't listen to me, so you only have yourself to blame. So I'm glad you hated this movie. Serves you right.
And it always bums me to talk about this movie because again, you tell me there's a kind of serious Paul Rudd, Paul Giamatti espionage movie. Boy, does that excite me!
It's crazy.
Tato, have you seen this one yet?
Still no.
Don't, please.
See it.
Yeah, I won't. How about that?
Brandon, what's your final movie of the week, Brandon?
I closed my door because I have to be careful about talking about this movie because this is my wife's favorite movie of all time. So I got to bring my voice down because I don't want her to hear me if I have anything bad to say about it. I don't have much bad to say about Pride and Prejudice, but I watched Pride and Prejudice for the first time. My wife's favorite movie. And
isn't there multiple of them?
The 2005. The Keira Knightley dude from Succession one. That one. And yeah, it's a good movie. This is a nice flick. This is a nice story. A nice classic. Emily Dick. I don't know who did. Who wrote it?
Emily. Jeez, what did Emily do to you? Call her?
Some person.
Yeah.
Jane Austen. The next Jane Austen film. And yeah, like great acting performances, some great chemistry between everybody on the screen. Some actually surprisingly big cast. You got Keira Knightley, Matthew McFadden, of course, Donald Sutherland, of course, Tom Hollander's in there, who's kind of blowing up around now in White Lotus. But then you have Rosamund Pike, who plays the oldest daughter, and then you have who barely do anything. You have Carey Mulligan, and who was the other sister? There was another sister that it popped up. They were like, oh, I don't even know. I didn't even realize she was in this as well. I forgot who it was, but somebody else that pops up in this. And it's like, oh, there's a bunch of people in this movie that, didn't really expect. And yeah, great acting, great performances here. Good story, good chemistry, everything good. Everything's shot well. Everything's nice. My one holdback that keeping me at 4 stars. I'm at 4 stars just because I'm not a period piece. Jenna Malone. Yes, that's who I was thinking of. Jenna Malone is in this as well. I'm not a period piece guy. I've tried to be a period piece guy. I'm just not. I just like the way they talk and the way they're dressing and the way just doesn't do much for me. Like go full medieval or go modern. Just this weird period in the middle just doesn't really do it for me. So that just keeps me from fully loving this movie. But I thought this was a really, really good movie. I'm not the audience for it. So that kept me I gave it a 4 stars, but just not my traditional style movie. It's the safest I've ever talked in my entire life.
Well, luckily I'm not married to your wife. I only say that because I wish I was, but I only say that because I'm going to just give it 3 stars. I actually, surprisingly enough, have seen this as well. I share your sentiments of not being a big period piece guy, but I believe we saw this forcibly in high school. I remember even then being like, this is better than I thought it was going to be. So yeah. I did like it. It's not one I probably should go back to, but it's just not, again, it's just not my my forte necessarily. But I do give it also a positive review as well, surprisingly. Tato, ever seen Pride and Prejudice?
The only movie my sociology teacher ever showed me that I didn't love was Ordinary People. Also no.
Brian.
I have not seen it.
Eric, how are you?
Hey.
Eric. Have you seen Pride and Prejudice?
Indeed. I watched it because the girl I liked in high school really liked this movie, and I did enjoy it. I don't talk to her anymore.
Oh. That's why I can't watch Blues Brothers, because Catherine broke up with me afterwards. But what'd you give this movie?
Around 5 stars. I remember I also read the book after it. Yeah, I own it. I'll have it over there, probably.
All right. This is JPO's nitpick of the week. What's your final score? What's around 5? 4.5? 5? I need a final answer.
Let's give it 5.
Letterboxd is at 5.
Hey!
Letterboxd is at 5.
Yeah.
If you smoke, I smoke too. That's how much I'm in love with you. Crazy is a crazy do. A crazy me and a crazy you. All right, let's see. Tato, see anything else this week?
I do. I got my weekly Sandler hole fill, and I was on Netflix checking out the old Shabadoo. I was between two films that start with the letters S, P, and A. I clicked on one of them. Turns out it's from 2024, so I ended up not watching Spaceman. The other film is, yeah, there you go, Spanglish.
I put Spanglish.
Yeah, speak like that.
But I knew it was that.
The Eric story.
Well, yeah, so we'll see. We'll see if Eric tears me to shreds for this one or not. But I fucking loved the shit out of this movie. This might be Sandler's best dramatic outing. I don't know, like it's yeah, calm down. Jesus, let me have an opinion before I fucking
said nothing.
get shot down.
I said nothing.
No.
I can't help my facial expressions, but I was mute.
No. Okay. I will say no one tell Jay about this movie because Téa Leoni gives a fantastic performance as a despicable person, and we all know we can't have that. It is fucking charming as hell. It is heartbreaking. Like I said, Sandler gives just the genuinely good performance. This is the only movie I have seen in which Adam Sandler, it's not an Adam Sandler movie. It's a movie that happens to have Adam Sandler in a role, which I think even Punch Drunk Love kind of has some Sandler-esque vibes to it. I definitely prefer this to Punch Drunk Love of the two of his two dramatic movies that kind of started what he would go on to do later in the 2010s and stuff. Hustle and Uncut Gems are fantastic as well, I will say. Sandler is a cheeky, good dramatic actor. Like I said, Téa Leoni is really good here. Floor, excuse me.
Paz Vega.
She really is the heart of the movie. I think she gives her best. Cloris Leachman gets a few lines. I kind of wish she had a little more, but she does get lines. This movie full of lines, more lines than Disney World BT dubbed. And this scene is goddamn fucking heart-wrenching, dude.
You gotta tell me, man.
Yep. Absolute, and then Sandler after the scene, and then the ending is really, really good, I will say. Yeah. Fantastic story, really fantastic movie, 4.5 stars for Tato.
Hey, good old big review for Spanglish. I do like this one as well. I've been meaning to revisit it because I thought some stuff was a little too melodramatic at times here. James L. Brooks sometimes tend to do that, but still I thought it was really good performances wise here. Like you said, this is a good example of the range I think Sandler truly has. Because again, Uncut, Hustle, Spaceman 2, all different really kinds of really good performances in all different kinds of ways. Brandon, you ever seen Spanglish?
I have. It's hard for me to talk about this movie because, if you ask me right now, when I watched this movie, I didn't like it, but I was also 14, and I don't think I was probably in theaters, so I don't think I was, really in the right thinking. I was seeing an Adam Sandler movie, So if I had to revisit it again, I'd probably be a lot different. But shout out Cloris Leachman, who kissed me and my brother on the cheek at a sushi restaurant 20 years ago because she saw us looking at her. Hey. We recognized her from The Longest Yard. And then she came up to us and was a very nice lady.
Got you. The future ASAP question.
Right at the time, too, immediately after the movie came out.
Which actors from The Longest Yard? Brandon on the cheek.
I will say, I like James L. Brooks' choice to not put these Spanish subtitles on screen. Fucking, that's my fault for not knowing Spanish and missing half the movie the way I see it.
Okay. Pourquoi, Brian? Movie?
Yeah, I enjoyed the movie. What?
Jesus Cristo!
I enjoyed the movie a lot.
Close enough.
I would say it's underrated movie for Sandler. I'll give it. I do enjoy the performances, especially the chemistry with Paz Vega and Sandler. I do love Cloris Leachman. I believe I gave it a 4 star when I saw it.
Eric.
Yes, I wrote it.
What? When you were fucking 2.5?
Yeah, that's my life story. It's been a while. I need to see it again. It's been so long since I've seen it. I remember liking it, but I'm used to liking it. Like I love that one and the one where Salma Hayek dates Matthew Perry. They are similar.
Oh, dude, Fools Rush In is great.
Yeah, I did enjoy that one, and that's why I love this one and West Side Story. They don't put the subtitles for Spanish speaking. They make it in the same ground. They don't make it as foreign as other movies do with other languages.
Dude, Salma Hayek. Oh my god. Anyway, Brian, what else you see this week?
Yeah, I watched a movie from the 96 Last series, The Lone Star on Tubi. Lone Star. It's a neo-western with starring Chris Cooper and Matthew McConaughey. It's actually a great movie. It has great performances. I especially love the flashback scenes where you see the racial extremities with the characters. It's a good watch if you're not too westerns, but it's neo-western like Hell or High Water. I do recommend it to check it out. I gave it 4 stars for this one. I really did enjoy it on Tubi.
That's a blind spot for me, yeah, but I am on Fridays. Did it move on? Do you know?
It's in the championship. It's there.
All right, so yeah, then I might have to get to it because I was looking for stuff to potentially watch for Friday. So I might fill in that spot. Brandon, never seen Lone Star? I had no idea about this movie actually.
I have no idea. Yeah, I've no comment.
There's a Joshua Jackson movie called Lone Star State of Mind. That's what I thought this was for a second. Tato, ever seen Lone Star?
I have not.
Eric.
I've only seen Spaceballs, so I haven't seen
that. That's what I thought he was talking about.
Yeah.
What? Eric, what did you watch this week, though?
I watched a couple stuff. I watched Grave of the Fireflies yesterday on theaters, but that's too much of a bummer to talk about. But great movie. Okay. You watch it. So I'll instead talk about Little Monsters, starring Lupita Nyong'o and Josh Gad.
Okay.
Not Howie Mandel, Brian's long.
Yeah, not the 80s one. Yeah, it's a very fun horror comedy with zombies and stuff. It's about a guy similar to Jack Black in School of Rock, but not as cool as Jack Black, I guess. Like an Australian rock star, wannabe rock star, who reconnects with his nephew, and he accompanies Lupita Nyong'o's character, who is a teacher, a kindergarten teacher, and they take him to a trip in like a farm, but a zombie outbreak nearby catches them, and it's up to Lupita Nyong'o and the other guy to protect the kids from the zombies. And they pretend to be a game, so they do not get traumatized. It's a really fun movie with Josh Gad, especially surprised me. He plays like a what's it called, like a kids show character, but he's like an asshole. Yeah, something like that. And he's really funny in this one. Everybody's really good. Lupita Nyong'o is great. The other guy, I don't remember the name of the main guy, but he's good. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I gave it 4 stars. It's on Hulu, so catch it up.
Yeah, it's a fun little jam. I feel like, speaking of jam, I feel like he likes this as well. I think it's about 3.5 for me here. It's a pretty, I want to say it's also shortish, or maybe I'm not wrong, but I thought it zipped along nicely. It's a small cast, as you said. There's not much more to the cast than those 3, and then the kids. Yeah, Gad's really good too. Ever seen Little Monsters? And not the Howie Mandel one, Brent?
I've not. I've heard of this though. I've been meaning to watch this since it came out. I remember when it came out, and I wanted to check it out. I just haven't got around to it yet. It looks fun.
Yeah, get to it, Tato.
Yeah, like you said, it's a J movie. He showed it to me last year sometime at some point. I had a blast with it. You go check the Letterboxd, 4 stars.
Yeah, same.
Just listen to your heart, people. I'm not gonna fact check it. I just want to hear a score. Right?
You lied. It's 3 stars.
I haven't checked it out, but it looks like a lot of fun though.
Yeah, Brandon, what's your final movie of the week?
I did 3.
Oh, did you? Oh, what did I skip me then? That time I'm out there. Oh, whoops. Hey guys, Man from Uncle. What's his face? Guy Ritchie movie. From a few years back. That's not what I was gonna say. Why don't you wait for me to try to figure it out? Guy Ritchie movie. Starring Henry Cavill and known cannibal Armie Hammer. Just kidding. He was on some Top Securities podcast. They got along greatly. Yeah, actually, I didn't mind this one at all. It's very much Guy Ritchie here. I love The Gentleman, but this is right in the vein of the last one, Ungentlemanly Warfare, and then the other one, Rise to Gur. He's starting to become another like really good like 3.5 star guy. Like, you know what I mean? You got charming people in the front here. Alicia Vikander as well here. I wouldn't mind the sequel here because it is fun. It does seem a bit plottish at times. I did kind of feel, I don't want to say the length because I just looked it up. It's not that long, but I do kind of remember being like, all right, like I don't know, I kind of odd words welcome for me just a little bit here. But still, at the end of the day, let's say it was a. Now I'm gonna look at my head back. Now I just gave it an even 3 stars here each time tonight, going up just a half a star, 2.5, and 3 stars for The Man from U.N.C.L.E. If you haven't seen it, it's worth a shot here. But obviously, know that the sequel ain't coming. Speaking of cannibals, Brandon, what do you think about The Man from U.N.C.L.E.?
I've never seen this. I have a really love-hate relationship with Guy Ritchie. Some of my favorite movies ever are Guy Ritchie movies, and then some of my seen movies ever are Guy Ritchie movies. So just kind of in the middle here. So I've been meaning to check this out. I love Henry Cavill. Remember when the trailer first hit? I was so excited, and then when I started seeing reviews, just because there's so much to watch, I saw some reviews and just bummed me out, and I was like, I really want to see this movie, but if it's just okay, I don't want to, be disappointed. But I need to watch this more. I love Alicia Vikander. Why doesn't she do more? Like, I just love her. So
Henry Cavill too. I'm surprised hasn't done like more.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's the best. He's awesome. Everyone loves him.
I love him. Tato, you love him, but have you seen this movie?
I have not.
Hey, Hugh Grant's in this. I almost forgot about that. Yeah. Brian, you ever seen The Man from U.N.C.L.E.?
I have seen it actually. I believe I gave it 3 stars.
Nice. Toy. Eric?
Yeah, I saw it when it first came out in theaters, but I don't have it logged. So I remember thinking it was around 3.5 to 4. And this is the first time I noticed a really tall lady, Elizabeth Debicki. She's great in this one. Everybody's great. I have a very similar story with Brandon about Guy Ritchie. Like, I saw this one and I was super excited about his next movie, that one being King Arthur, and then that one is one of my least favorite movies of all time. So that kind of happens with Guy Ritchie.
Shout out Lock, Stock, 2 Smoking Barrels. Perfect.
That's a good one.
I don't hate King Arthur.
I don't have to hate
Tato, what's your final movie of the week?
I got nothing actually, except laundry to do. So I love you all. Fairly well.
Hold on.
Good luck.
Hold on. And what do you rate it?
My dryer is the dryer on my floor is actually broken right now, so I'm gonna give it 2 stars.
Dude, do you have to use it more than once?
It's no, it's not usable. So I have to use the dryer.
Even worse.
I have to use the dryer or I have to use the upstairs floor, which is
that's horrible. My dryer just sucks, and I gotta split my load. That's kind of weird. All right, Tatum, you gotta go. We love you more than you'll ever know. Brian, see anything else this week?
Yeah, but I see the movie we can't talk about. It's from last year, so you can't talk 3 or 4 movies.
So the answer is no.
Nope.
All right, the answer is no. Eric, you see anything else this week?
Recently, I saw Michael Mann's Manhunter, which was pretty good. It's the first adaptation of I think it's Red Dragon's book, Red Dragon being the other one. I saw Red Dragon first before I saw Manhunter, and I did enjoy a lot Red Dragon, but I think Manhunter is a bit better. I think it's better directed. Michael Mann is one of those visually appealing directors for me. I really like how he frames a shot. I think I didn't love Brian Cox's Hannibal Lecter. I think I still prefer Anthony Hopkins, but he's pretty decent. He is very chilling as well. I just like the charm of Anthony Hopkins a bit better. But everybody else is great. I'm forgetting the names. So Dennis Farina plays the boss of that guy, Will Graham. I don't remember the actor's name right now, but he's also pretty
William
good.
Peterson from CSI.
That's his name. Yeah, William Peterson. You're right. Since I knew the story, I wasn't super surprised about it, but I did enjoy it a lot. I think the music is the thing that dates it a little bit because it's a very bit Miami Vice music, which makes sense because Michael Mann did direct Miami Vice much later than some episodes before. What was I supposed to say? The main bad guy, the Tooth Fairy, is really, really creepy. I enjoyed his performance a lot. I gave it 4 stars. And
nice.
I gave Red Dragon 3.5, so it's similar-ish to me. Sorry.
I probably will. I'll probably do the same. No, you're good. With Red Dragon, I gotta see this one here. Trailer looks good. I never got around to it. Brennan, ever seen Manhunter?
I almost watched this yesterday, actually, but then I went with Blowout. I went with Blowout instead. I wanted to watch a movie, from that era, but I went with Brian De Palma's Blowout instead.
Brian, ever seen Manhunter?
I have not, but trailer looks very interesting to see.
Yeah, for shizzle. This is last call now. If you want to join us here, the link is down at the bottom, and it's also in the comment section here. It looks like we're gonna maybe wrap things up here. Brian, you gave 2 stars. Catcher was a Spy. You agree with Brandon? It wasn't so good, but you did give a good review to Lone Star with 4 stars. Maybe I'll piggyback a review myself next week if I remember / have time.
Yeah.
Any plugs or parting words?
Yeah, plugs. You find me on Periscope. Do some ASAS. I signed up for tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'll make the cut for that. I'll know tomorrow. I appear on We Hear Network. I'll be there tomorrow with JPO. Be there. Coming up, I'll be on Color Course Fest channel as well with JPO talking with some Sandman. I'm not sure what date yet. Yeah, multiplex. I filmed a match last week, but I have a match up there now in Melee. And anywhere else you can find me on.
Yeah, Eric, you gave some really good reviews this week. Little Monsters at 4, Manhunter at 4.5. Any plugs or parting words?
For the record, I gave Manhunter 4, but I can understand why it got mixed up. But don't worry about it.
I lied.
No, it's fine. You can check my Letterboxd where you can see the actual score I gave it. But there you go. There it is. I'm playing Brandon sometime next week, but you can see it until like April. So I don't know why we're. Yeah, but that's fine. Another match of mine is coming up in the next couple of weeks. Wipe with the Heart. I had a match like last week, a couple of weeks ago. Check out CWT, Lights Out, the Pierce Code, WWT, all that good stuff where I sometimes show. Oh, and Rankem this Sunday with JPO talking about top 12 Seinfeld episodes. That's going to be a good one.
Rusty with Seinfeld.
Fucking Brian cut me off. I was going to do the joke. Well, then I can do it better, though. What's the deal with Brian not doing any character work and just saying it? Our buddy Jonathan Caro had a Robert Redford week, evidently. 2.5 to up close and personal. Slightly better review of the way we were with Babs at 3.5. Our boy Pez went old school, probably the most old school tonight with the Tall T, a Western, and he gave a glowing review of 4.5 stars too. Our boy Tato saw Asterix and Obelix, The Middle Kingdom, at 3.5, and a really good review for James L. Brooks's Spanglish. As for me, I went sexy with 50 Shades of Grey, giving it just 2 stars. Slightly better than 50 Shades of Grey is the sequel to Minions, Rise of Gru. And then finally, just slightly better than that is the Guy Ritchie adaptation of the TV show Man from Uncle Ed the Fairy. Brandon, what did you go over this week?
And slightly better than that, I watched Brian De Palma's Blowout. I watched Hayao Miyazaki's not final film, The Wind Rises. And I watched Keira Knightley being all sexy and wet in the rain in Pride and Prejudice. 4 stars.
All right. Any plugs or parting words there, Brandon?
Lots of stuff. I got a trios match coming out sometime. Good one. Watch that. Watch me play Eric. Lights Out Trivia as your champion. I hold his company on my back. Representing the new blood, the Tato era, next Tuesday against that guy who left us all behind and now finally starts crawling back. Chris Cass. Watch me beat his Chris ass next Tuesday at some time. But then also, I love Chris Cass because watch me on CWT in 2 hours. Taking on Papa West in match 2 of Clash of the Combatants.
What a transition. I'm going to kick his ass. And then a big thank you for letting me on the channel in an hour.
Yeah, Clash of the Combatants. Episode 2, me versus the B bracket. It's me versus Papa West to lead off the B bracket of that league tournament thing. So watch that. And I think that's all I got here. I'm going to be on Lonely Marks. I'm inviting myself because I'm going to Revolution in 2 weeks. So I'm inviting myself to talk about my time there. I just brought it up to Jordan just now.
I forgot. I'm going to Dynamite next week. It's
Dynamite.
a Phoenix.
And look for Eric on Dynamite Wednesday night.
And Collision. It's a double taping.
Look for him on that.
Yeah. Watch these guys in the Onyx at AEW. stay tuned here. Lots of shenanigans coming up on this channel here, including literally in just a few minutes with the continuation of the ASAT tournament. Steven fights Aaron. Records away. Thanks for watching. We love you more than you'll ever know. Good night.
Motherfuck, fuck,